Hi, I'm Audrey Stifter, and this morning I have the absolute pleasure of introducing my short stories buddy, Kat. I met Kat in elementary school when we both attended GSL Summerfest. From the moment I met Kat, I have known her as nothing but kind, welcoming, and so incredibly smart. Every day in short stories, she shares her perspective on the story we read the night before, constantly amazing me with how detail-oriented and introspective she is. I know Kat is going to have some amazing words to share with us today. So with that being said, I give you our class of 26's very own Catherine Grace Carney.
Last semester in AP Lit, we briefly discussed the myth of Sisyphus. It stands as a classic example of a Greek tragedy, a man condemned to a futile, never-ending punishment for his attempt to trick the gods. He bears the weight of his mistakes in the form of a boulder, pushing it up a massive hill each day, only for it to roll straight back down the next. Odd as it may seem, many people hold the belief that despite his suffering, Sisyphus is still happy. The idea that he can choose to find happiness within a situation where he's destined to fail resonates with me in an odd way. Now, clearly, I haven't been condemned to such a fate as Sisyphus, although I do think that everyone has their own version of a boulder. For instance, my own boulder didn't start off all that heavy. I've always been anxious, pretty much the definition of an overthinker. As a friend of mine put it, she can always tell exactly where I'm sitting during chapel based on how much the pews are violently shaking around her from my constant nervous movement. Being high-strung has always been my default, but it never really caused me any issues until I got to high school. With that transition, there became fewer and fewer variables in my life that I could control, and that's when the overthinking started to become unmanageable. Instead of focusing on the good things in my life, I let myself be consumed by all the ways it wasn't perfect. I was attached to an ideal version of what I thought my senior year was supposed to look like, and it made me miserable. I began to feel increasingly insecure every time my life deviated from the correct or normal path I'd always worked towards, which it did, a lot. Within that spiral, I convinced myself that I had zero control to change anything. I would always be too much and never enough. The pit in my stomach would never fully dissipate. It felt like an impossible situation where I would always lose due to my own expectations. All that to say, the choice towards happiness is not always an easy one either. To me, choosing happiness means letting go of things I care about when they no longer fit into my life, even if it's painful at first. It means reflecting on what I've learned from the past instead of scrutinizing everything I could have done differently. It means actively choosing to focus on the good, even when the negative appears overwhelmingly visible. Now, whenever I start to get overwhelmed or feel like I'm not enough, I take an extra moment to consider the good. I think about how my tiny BC Calc class always manages to make me die laughing, even on my hardest days. I think about the little pink envelope with a sweet note from my friend Marin that I remember every word of, even though it got stolen out of my car last summer. Shout out Midtown. I think about my friends who cook dinner with me and pick me up when I fall down ice skating. I remember how lucky I am to go to a school like St. Mary's and to have an older sister who always picks up the phone no matter how many times I call. I think about dinners at Elwood Shack and the beach and my favorite songs, and the memory of Amelia being attacked by a British soccer coach in the 7th grade, along with many other things that I don't have the word count to mention in this speech. Life will always be fluid and unpredictable, or simply just unfair. However, I can assure you that in every situation, you will always have the ability to choose. And when you choose the people who really care about you and the things you love, that burden, whatever your boulder may be, becomes a little easier to carry. When you seek out what is good, I guarantee that you will find it. And to my class of 2026, thank you for helping me create memories that I can always choose to look back on, even when we're apart next year. I'm incredibly grateful for the laughter and joy you've all brought me, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Thank you.